April 8, 1943, 27,000 feet above Caen, France. The sky is razor clear, sunlight glinting off metal. A low, mocking laugh crackles over the radio. German pilots circle, eyes fixed on the strange shapes below. The P-47 Thunderbolts climb, engines straining, wings trembling, sweat beads beneath oxygen masks. The air is thin, the stakes are life or death. The question hangs, how does a machine mocked as a flying milk bottle become the nightmare of the Luftwaffe? The American fighters lumber upward, 16 Thunderbolts in tight formation. Their engines roar, propellers slicing the cold air. Above, the veteran German ace studies them, smirk hidden behind his mask. To him, these are targets, not threats. The Republic P-47s look ungainly, barrel-shaped, heavy, almost comical. But the Germans do not know what is coming. The mathematics of destruction are already written in those broad wings. 8 Browning machine guns, 3,400 rounds, a storm of lead waiting to be unleashed. Major Donald Blay, leading the 335th Fighter Squadron, scans the sky. He knows survival in the P-47 means unlearning everything. This is not a Spitfire. It is not a Messerschmitt. It is a new kind of weapon, one that will change the world. The Germans have experience, hundreds of missions, years of combat. The Americans have 0 days in battle, but the Thunderbolt is about to prove itself. The P-47 was born from panic. In June 1940, as France fell, Republic Aviation's Alexander Kartveli was told to build a high-altitude interceptor. What he delivered was a monster. The XP-47B prototype shocked everyone, 9,900 pounds empty, 65% heavier than its predecessor. The turbo supercharger with its maze of ducting gave it a swollen look. Test pilots stared, wondering if it could even fly. But at altitude, the Pratt & Whitney R-2800 engine delivered 2,000 horsepower, keeping the Thunderbolts strong where others gasped for air. Training was brutal. The 56th Fighter Group lost 18 pilots and 41 aircraft before ever seeing combat. The P-47 killed more Americans in training than Germans would in the first months of war. It ground looped, torque rolled, dove so fast that controls froze. But those who mastered it found something extraordinary. The power was overwhelming. You didn't fly it, you aimed it. April and May 1943, the first combat. The P-47s can't turn with Focke-Wulfs, can't climb with Messerschmitts. Reports to headquarters are scathing. The new American fighter is meat for the slaughter. It flies like a truck, turns like a freight train, climbs like a pregnant cow. British pilots joke that the best evasive maneuver is to unstrap and run around the cockpit. But something is happening. The P-47s that return are riddled with holes. 21 cannon strikes, over 100 machine gun hits, damage that would shatter a Spitfire or a Messerschmitt. The massive radial engine shrugs off punishment, and the Thunderbolt's guns find their mark. The results are catastrophic. The convergence zone is a wall of destruction. Unlike early warfighters, the P-47 can fire for over 30 seconds, an eternity in the sky. June 26, 1943, over Lezo, France. Second Lieutenant Robert S. Johnson's formation is ambushed. 16 Focke-Wulfs dive from the sun. Johnson's Thunderbolt is shredded, canopy shattered, hydraulic fluid spraying, engine cowling torn away, fire behind the panel. Wounded, trapped, he tries to bail out. The canopy is jammed, welded shut by a shell. He is alone, dying at 27,000 feet. He levels the aircraft, points it toward England. The P-47 keeps flying, controls barely responding. Then a lone Focke-Wulf finds him. The German pilot empties his cannons, then his machine guns. Johnson huddles behind armor, praying. The Thunderbolt absorbs everything. The German pulls alongside, stares in disbelief, salutes and peels away. Johnson lands at Manston, engine failing. The news spreads. American engineers study the wreckage, stunned by their own creation. German intelligence refuses to believe the reports, but the truth is undeniable. The Thunderbolt can take everything and survive. By July, American pilots learn the secret. In a dive, nothing can catch the P-47. From 30,000 feet, it reaches 550 miles per hour, faster than any German fighter. The boom and zoom tactic is born. Thunderbolts climb high, then dive, unleashing a wall of lead. German pilots call it a turkey shoot. Aircraft caught in the convergence don't just fall, they disintegrate. August 17, 1943. The dual raid on Schweinfurt and Regensburg. Major David Schilling leads his flight against Messerschmitt 110S. The Thunderbolts dive from 28,000 feet. German gunners open fire, but the P-47s don't flinch. When they return fire, German aircraft are torn apart, wings separated, tails severed, crews lost in seconds. 8 Mi-110s and 10s destroyed in less than a minute. The firepower is overwhelming. Each P-47 carries 3,400 rounds, 900 pounds of ammunition. At 300 yards, all 8 guns converge in a 6-foot zone. Anything caught there is obliterated. The ammunition is a marvel. Armor-piercing incendiary, tracers, ball rounds, all mixed for maximum destruction. German fighters with limited cannon ammo can't match the sustained fire. Lieutenant Colonel Francis Gabreski describes the effect. When you hit them with all 8, they don't just go down, they explode. By September, the Luftwaffe faces a new horror. The P-47's performance improves with altitude. The turbo-supercharged engine keeps full power up to 30,000 feet. German fighters struggle above 25,000. On October 8, 1943, Ace Hans Philipp is caught at 28,000 feet. His Focke-Wulf is sluggish, engine gasping. Thunderbolts dive from above. Johnson opens fire. Philipp's aircraft explodes. If Germany's best can't survive, what chance do the rest have? The German High Command investigates. The report is grim. The Thunderbolt service ceiling exceeds 42,000 feet. Its dive speed nears the sound barrier. Armor protects pilot and engine. Its rugged construction absorbs damage that would destroy 3 conventional fighters. The laughter fades. January 1944. The P-47 D-22 arrives with a new paddle blade propeller, 13 feet in diameter, broad blades biting the air. Climb rate jumps to 3,000 feet per minute. Acceleration improves. German pilots are stunned. Now, the Thunderbolt's roar is unmistakable, a deep, threatening rumble heard miles away. German troops call it Donnerschlag, thunderclap. With external tanks, P-47s escort bombers deep into Germany. The Luftwaffe tries to break through, but the Thunderbolts are everywhere. Rahl survives an encounter, wounded, shaken. The guns pour out streams of fire. Getting caught means instant death. The Thunderbolt's endurance is unmatched. While German fighters burn fuel at maximum power, the big radials cruise efficiently. Thunderbolts stay with the bombers for hours, rotating top cover, always ready. As P-51 Mustangs arrive, P-47s shift to ground attack. The heavy machine guns devastate vehicles, trains, tanks. Armor-piercing incendiary rounds punch through steel. A 2-second burst puts 160 projectiles into a truck-sized target. The D-25 variant carries 2 1,000-pound bombs and a 500-pounder, equal to early medium bombers. Later models add rockets, each as powerful as artillery shells. German troops call them Jabos, fighter bombers, but these are flying artillery, snipers from the sky. June 6, 1944, D-Day. Over 500 P-47s form an umbrella over the beaches. Thunderbolts are stacked from sea level to 30,000 feet. Attempts to break through end in disaster. In the weeks after D-Day, P-47s destroy thousands of vehicles, tanks, and locomotives. The Wehrmacht is forced to move only at night. Nothing stops the Thunderbolt. Not armor, not flak, not camouflage. In the Pacific, the P-47 proves itself again. The 348th Fighter Group in New Guinea finds the Thunderbolt perfect for vast distances and harsh conditions. Japanese pilots used to fragile American fighters are stunned. Their 20mm cannons seem useless. The P-47N, with wet wings and 2,350-mile range, escorts Bu-29s to Japan. The short-legged fighter of 1943 becomes a long-range weapon. Even German jets are not safe. The Me-262, with its 540-mile-per-hour speed, should be untouchable. But Thunderbolts catch jets during takeoff, landing, or in high-speed dives. On November 27, 1944, Lieutenant Colonel John C. Meyer shoots down an Me-262, his guns tearing the jet apart. The P-47M, with water methanol injection and 2,800 horsepower, reaches 470 miles per hour at 30,000 feet. Major George Bostwick shoots down 2 jets in March 1945. The jets are fast, but they can't turn, can't take punishment. One burst, and they come apart. Operation Bodenplatte, January 1, 1945. The Luftwaffe's last gamble. Nearly 900 German fighters attack Allied airfields. At Y-34 near Metz, 22 Thunderbolts are destroyed on the ground. A captured German pilot taunts the Americans. Major George Brooking points to the flight line. By tomorrow, 40 new Thunderbolts will arrive. How long to replace your pilots? Within 48 hours, new P-47s fill the field. The Luftwaffe loses 271 aircraft and 213 pilots. The Americans replace their losses in days. The Germans never recover. Republic Aviation builds 15,683 P-47s, more than any other American fighter. Factories run around the clock. Each Thunderbolt requires 65,000 parts, 8 miles of wiring, 2,000 pounds of aluminum. Ammunition production is staggering, 10 million rounds per month. Fuel consumption is enormous. Pilot training is relentless. By 1944, the United States graduates 30,000 pilots annually. Each P-47 pilot has 400 hours of training. German pilots by war's end have less than 100. March 1945. The same German ace who once mocked the Thunderbolt now calls it the best fighter bomber ever built. Its firepower is unprecedented. Its production is unstoppable. The Americans lose 10, they build 20. German courage is not enough. The sound of the Thunderbolt's guns haunts survivors, mechanical, precise, unstoppable. The laughter is gone. By April 1945, the Luftwaffe is a memory. Fuel is gone. Pilots are dead or captured. Airfields are ruins. New pilots last a single mission. The sky rains burning aluminum and bodies. Jabo fever spreads. Panic at the sound of Thunderbolts. The statistics are staggering. Thousands of aircraft, tanks, trains, and vehicles destroyed. The kill ratio is 4.6 to 1. The human cost is immense. 28,000 German pilots lost. The Americans arrive trained, equipped, and ready. The Germans are outnumbered, outgunned, outflown. Captured records show the change. April 1943, minimal threat. December 1943, significant threat. June 1944, critical threat. March 1945, best fighter bomber of the war. In 1985, former adversaries meet in peace. General Adolf Galland admits the truth. The Americans built a fighter for their war. Powerful, survivable, mass-produced. They understood that in a war of attrition, the plane that could take punishment and deliver firepower would win. They were right. The P-47's design is brute force engineering. Every part is overbuilt. The wing spars can support 40,000 pounds. The engine mount withstands 12 GA. The guns are electrically heated, individually synchronized, fed by electric boost motors. The convergence is adjustable, the ammunition superior. In equal numbers, the P-47 prevails. Its guns create a probability cloud, guaranteed hits, guaranteed destruction. The P-47 Thunderbolt remains the heaviest single-engine piston fighter ever mass-produced. Its engine outpowers entire bomber formations from the last war. Its guns deliver more firepower than a squad of infantry. It is flown by kids, maintained by mechanics who learned in weeks. The transformation from mockery to terror takes less than 2 years. The flying milk bottle becomes the most feared aircraft in the Luftwaffe's experience. At the United States Air Force Museum, a restored P-47D sits among legends. Its placard lists honors, but the real story is told by spent shells and gun camera film. Below, a quote from a German pilot. "We laughed when we first saw them. Fat, ugly American fighters that couldn't turn, couldn't climb, couldn't fight. We stopped laughing when we realized they didn't need to turn or climb. They just pointed those guns at you and you ceased to exist. The laughter died with our comrades." The P-47 Thunderbolt entered combat as an object of derision and ended the war as an instrument of annihilation. In between, 8 synchronized Browning machine guns rewrote the rules of aerial warfare and buried the Luftwaffe under an avalanche of lead. German pilots had laughed in April 1943. By May 1945, there were no German pilots left to laugh, and the sky belonged to America.